Hello, today we are here to discuss the Gen Con Hall for 2023. So this was a request from one of our followers, Dan. I want to make sure I get this in for you. So I took a picture and posted it on the channel, but the picture was kind of hard to read all the games, so we're going to do a rundown real quick. So Point City, this was a upcoming game from AEG when I met with them from the media group. I actually kickstarted this, so I've got a second copy coming because they give us this as part of the media meetup. But this is one that is really exciting for my daughter anyway, because she loved Point Salad, and this is the follow-up. We have next to it Applejack. This is the new Uwe Rosenberg game, or Uwe, I'm not sure which way it's pronounced. But it's a lot of fun. We actually played that one already. I'm going to get that review up soon. The Great Split, we discussed this one in a previous video, but this is one that was kind of a nice surprise. We weren't sure. I wasn't sure if Miranda was going to like it. So far, everybody who's played it has liked it, so that's good news. Wild Realms, this is one that when I was at the Pandasaurus booth picking up Emerge, which we'll see in a minute, I saw this booth across the hall, and the art was just amazing. So I know nothing about the gameplay other than it's a card deck builder where you're attacking one another. But they said attacking wasn't that vicious in the game. But the art was just so beautiful. And I can't wait to get this one up for review just so you can see the art because it's amazing. This one was not technically a Gen Con pickup. It was a pre-order that I did because I knew it was going to arrive at Gen Con, but it was coming out in the next week. Great Western Trail, New Zealand. So I just got this picked up fresh from the shop just now. Diced Veggies. This is KTBG's release. I think they had two releases at Gen Con, but this is the one that was most interesting to me. It's a little puzzler with dice where you actually slice off sections of dice that are total up to 10 or less and try to fulfill orders. So looking forward to this one. Heard there's some issues with some of the dice pips. I'm hoping mine doesn't have the problem, but if it does, they've been really good about saying they'll replace them. Magic Rabbit, this was in our VIG swag bag, and this one is from Alley Cat Games. Whenever I went to Alley Cat, we had a long discussion with them because we own a lot of their games. But this was one of their new releases. Number Drop, this is another one from the AEG Big Game Night and from the Media Kit as well, so I've got a lot of copies of this. So this is kind of a Tetris-y roll and write game. Rome in a Day, this is one, it's a Roman theme. I couldn't pass it up. I'm not sure how good of a game it'll be yet, but we'll find out. It's another Alley Cat game, but it's another I split, you choose type game. Path of Light and Shadow Solstice, the sequel to Path of Light and Shadow. So this one is I like this game a lot when we played it. I haven't got to the table a long time. So I'm looking forward to getting to try that one and see how I like the expansion. Stay Cool. I think this was in our VIG swag a few years ago, but we also got it in our VIG swag again. So I probably got two copies of it as well floating around. Sky Team. This is another one of the popular ones from Gen Con. So this is a two-player game from Hachette that is about landing a plane, and you have to cooperatively try to work together on all the instruments by placing dice. The Star Wars Villainous Scum and Villainy expansion. I picked this up mainly because they had a Boba Fett pin that was really cool to go with it. So I picked it up for that purpose, and obviously I like the character Boba Fett, so... Shake That City, this is probably my favorite of the AEG releases that they had at Gen Con. We played this at Big Game Night, and I got to see it last year at the media event. So looking forward to getting this one up for review. This is a little puzzler where you're building a city, but it's got a shake cube where you actually have arrangement of 3x3 cubes that go out, and you place them down to make your city. And basically try to get the best arrangement based upon scoring value or scoring rules for each color. Starfighters, another Alley Cat game. This is a little space kind of a race on dice rolling game. Call it Rapid Fire, so you roll the dice quickly and get them down. Age of Wonders Planetfall. This was kind of a blind buy. It's a game that was from well, it's from Hobby World. Arcane Wonders was publishing it. It was one of their 3 releases that were kind of the popular ones. So looking forward to giving it a try. I know nothing about the video game. Don't really know much about the board game, but I know Arcane Wonders has been releasing some really good games lately, so I want to give that a try. Deep Dive. This is another one from the AEG Media event. So this one is a really light game for kid-friendly. You're basically little penguins going into a dive, trying to press your luck to go as far as you can to collect different types of sets of fish, crustaceans, or what have you. So you go down and basically you can stop at any point, but if you get a predator, then you're trapped where you are. Smash Up expansion. This was another one from the AEG Media kit. They were also selling it at the Gen Con booth. So this one is obviously an expansion for Smash Up. It's been a while since we've gotten one, and this one's about the 80s big movies. So there's a ripoff of Ghostbusters and Bill and Ted, I think, in here. There's Back to the Future, RoboCop. There's lots of different varieties here. Critical Sanctuary. I actually got the first Critical a while back, and this is the second one in the second of that, but it's season 1 for Sanctuary. I don't know much about it other than this is kind of a story-driven game, kind of a D&D in a box, if you will. So I'm looking forward to that. AGNC. This is from the person who designed Innovation. So this is going to be kind of a cutthroat card game, I'm sure. So I liked Innovation a lot. I don't know if Miranda will like this one so much. Rob and I both like Innovation, so we might be the ones giving this one a play. Waffle Time. This was at the big game night for AEG. This was their puzzler. We actually did a review. We haven't published it yet, so it'll be up on the channel soon. But we actually reviewed it before Gen Con, so there may be some references to Gen Con in that video. But yeah, it's one that it was very popular at Gen Con for them. Tiny Towns, I've already got this. This was also in the swag bag for the big game night. And, it's another copy of Tiny Towns. It's basically a game of bingo for AEG, but with some slight rules modifications for trying to get certain patterns. Gangacieros. So this one is a Western themed kind of but it's set in, I believe, Brazil. So this is going to be a battling game, I'm sure. So it's another one Miranda probably won't like so much, but I like the theme of it. I like the looks of it, so I wanted to pick it up. Neotopia, another Arcane Wonders release. This one looked very pretty. It's got a lot of bits in it. I haven't got it out yet to take a look at all those bits. I'm not sure if the cardboarder would, but it's one that was one of their 3 big releases. I just ordered all 3 of them. So, Express Route. This is one we got to see at Origins. It was from the Op, and it's their first foray into, I guess, the more hobby style. They've said some of their other ones were hobby style. This one to me is the first true hobby style one. I don't know how heavy it's going to be. I suspect it'll be very light, but we're going to give it a try. It's a train game, but I can guarantee it's not a very heavy train game. Ex Libris Expanded Archives. This is the expansion for Ex Libris. They actually had a reprint of Ex Libris there, a new version, but it said this was compatible with the old version, which is what I have. So went ahead and picked this up because I wanted to make sure I got one that was compatible. Jiangnan, Life of Gentry. This is a blind buy, so I'm hoping this one turns out to be good. There's been a lot of new Japanese, Asian companies springing up that are just small companies, and I always like to support small companies. And they threw in everything you can imagine for this. It's got wooden bits. They did everything up with this game. Wooden. All their tokens are wooden. So I'm real excited to get this one on the table just to see all the pieces. Now it doesn't mean I'm going to have to do some assembly to put the box insert together, but it's gonna. I don't like projects, but we'll get it done. It looks really pretty. Then we have Sagrada Artisans. This is another one of the fairly hot sellers there. I don't think it ever sold out, or at least I didn't notice it selling out. But this is kind of the campaign mode for Sagradas, which is kind of interesting that they have a campaign for Sagrada. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure It needed a campaign mode, but it's a pretty game, and I've always liked it, so we got it. All right, last one alive. This one was an Ares throw-in. They had like basically when you bought so much from Ares, if you spent that much money, they let you get this for $5. So I don't know anything about it. I just like, well, it's $5, so I'll take it. But I've already seen somebody say that they really like this game, so that responded to it. So I hope we'll like it as well. Sorcerer's Arena. This I think was basically the Ops attempt to try to compete with Lorcana. I mean, this has been out for a while, but they put a special deal on the base set for regular 40 MSRP. It was for 20 at Gen Con. So for $20, I thought, well, I'll go ahead and get it because Sarah might very well like to play it with all the characters. So, I think that was how they were combating doing the release of Lorcana there. But I saw a lot of people getting this, so for $20, I couldn't really pass it up. Sunrise Lane, another blind buy. I could have spent a lot more money at the Flat River Games group. They had all kinds of games everywhere. It was very well organized, very easy to get in and out of that booth. And this one I saw, it had city building, it had city-shaped tiles that you stacked. I really like the looks of it. It's going to be probably a light puzzler, and I like puzzles, so. The Wolves, I've heard lots of good things about this one. I don't know much about it. Pandasaurus Games, when I went to try to get a merge, they were sold out the first day. But I didn't want to leave empty-handed, and I saw this, and I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and pick up the Wolves, because this is one I've just heard so much about that is positive, so I want to give it a try. If you've heard of it and you know anything about it, let me know what you thought, because we will be giving it a go, and I'd like to know kind of what everybody else's thoughts are on it. Freelancers, this is Plaid Hat's new release that's part of the Crossroads series. So Crossroads games are always fun for me. I always like the choose your own adventure style play in it. And I don't think this one's got an app like the pirate one did, but this one should be interesting to try. Don't know much about the backstory. It looks like kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons, but there is a robot in it too, or some kind of mech unit. So it's not all Dungeons and Dragons fantasy. Some of it's, I guess, steampunk or future. Then we have Davy Jones' Locker. So this one is one that was a Kickstarter I eyed for a while. I did not support or back the Kickstarter, but when I looked at it and I was like, well, it's a pirate theme, and Miranda's mentioned in the past she loves pirate games, or the theme anyway, but usually the games are all attacky. This one is actually a co-op pirate game, and if you get your boat that gets destroyed, you can join the boats of one of your fellow teammates and help them. So you're not eliminated from the game. So I like that. So I want to give that a try. Lost Ruins of Arnak expansion. We brought this up in our last video. This was a hot seller, sold out. Rob didn't manage to get one copy, but I pre-ordered mine, so I had no problem. Three Ring Circus. This was a very hot seller. I should have mentioned this on our other video. I didn't think about it. This one sold out all their content for the whole Gen Con on day one. And there was a ton when I got there. So they sold a lot of copies of this. And they were taking pre-orders, basically with online, quick shipping right after the con. Rob's already got his copy mailed to him, so they followed up with it really quick after the con. But this is DeVere's new release, and DeVere's been knocking it out of the park lately. So wanted to get that. Ancient Knowledge. This is Yellow's next one in the Expert series. This was, Cora was their first in the U.S. This is their second, although I don't see the word expert on it, but that's what it said online. This, whenever I saw it was Expert series, I grabbed it, but it's basically another strategic game of building out your tableau. So I always like tableau building games. This was a complete blind buy. I had no idea this was even coming. Council of Shadows. It's an Alea series game. I love the Alea series. Love their rule books. Unfortunately, mine, when I unpacked it, the rule books were completely bent over the edge of the box, so I got basically L-shaped rule books, but it's got a ton of pieces in this. I had to punch it for a good long while, and I'm not sure how to sort it yet, but this one I already took a look at because it just looked like it was very interesting. It's a space theme and it's Aaliyah, so excited to try that. After Us, this is another Pandasaurus release. Now, this one's got basically a tableau build as well, but you're doing upgrades on your cards that you play, and you're trying to attract different types of apes into your colony, I believe. This one was a pre-order, so I already just had to go pick it up. So this is the only one from Pandasaurus I actually pre-ordered. The expansion for Icky. So this one is another one of Hachette's games. We played Icky. We haven't posted a review yet because we had some differences of opinions on the game. Want to give it a few more tries before we do the review fully, but now we got an expansion to play as well, so we're going to have to not only do the review of the original, but the add on the expansion as well. This is probably my most uncertain buy, Hegemony. So this one is another one from Platte River Group. And I've been eyeing this for a while. The Kickstarter came and went, and unfortunately this is not the Kickstarter edition, but given how heavy this thing is, I can't imagine the Kickstarter version is going to be like, because this has got a ton of bits, and it's very heavy. So there's 2 expansions also for it that came out with the Kickstarter, but they didn't have them at Gen Con. But this one it sounds like it's going to be a pretty brutal game, and it sounds like it's going to be a beast to learn. So I've heard some really good things about it, if you don't mind the fact that it's going to be a beast to learn, as I mentioned. Infinite Rabbit Holes did this game. We actually talked with them for a good long while. They're real excited to talk with us about our channel, and we're very excited to try this. This is an escape room set in the Gotham City, where you're basically Harley Quinn actually I think it's Haley Quinn actually, has been gone back into the Arkham Asylum, and it's basically an escape room style game, but it interacts with an app where you scan cards, and it's basically a kind of an augmented reality where things happen when you scan the cards and different parts of the map and such. So looking forward to giving this a try. Rob picked this up too because we were both so excited about it, and there's got 2 more parts of this story, and these, when you open them up, are supposed to look like filing cabinets, and they're just filled with papers and documents and different types of folders and such, but it looks like a filing cabinet, and I was like, are you going to build like an actual filing cabinet to put these in? They kind of, like, you joke about that, so I don't know, they may be doing that, but yeah, we'll probably be featuring their other stuff on the channel too, but they were really excited to work with us. But this one had really exciting advertising at the thing. They actually printed an entire newspaper to sell this, and they were having callers giving out the newspapers throughout Gen Con. So it was really a cool idea. They basically were the Gotham Gazette or whatever, and they had a full articles on Harley coming back to town. And this was just a brilliant marketing strategy. They didn't have a booth, though. That was the one thing. It's like they had all this marketing, but they had no booth. They were just in a table in the vendor hall or the exhibit hall where you play games. So it may have been a little hard to find them. There's Emerge. We talked about it earlier. So this was a Pandasaurus game that was the hardest for me to get, apart from the one that was sea salt and paper that we didn't end up picking up. But this one was selling out every day. I don't know, again, much about it other than it's a competitive strategy game. It says you are scientists exploring recently discovered chain of islands. And I believe you build out the islands as you play. World Wonders. This is the Arcane Wonders. This was the final of the 3 that I picked up from them. And this is the one I think was the most exciting. I think it probably sold the best for them. It's got really nice wooden bits in there that are screen printed that are supposed to represent the wonders of the world. Although some of them look a little interesting, but we can't really talk about them on here because the shapes they look like were very unfortunate, let's say. Rich and the Good, I think I mentioned this one in our previous video as well. This is one that was from Ares Games, and the one I was most excited about from them. Where it's basically looks like you're playing cards and you're trying to acquire a fortune, but again, you want to contribute the most, or not the least, to charity, or else you'll be eliminated. Lunar Rush, this was Miranda's favorite from the convention, obviously. This is one she's been waiting for forever, and super excited to get this to the table. This will probably be the next game we play, given Miranda's desire to play it. Unfortunately, we all got a case of the con crud, and she's kind of been laid up since she got back, so she got it worse than any of us. Wild Tile West, this one we talked about previously too. This is a tile placement game that's got really nice inlaid boards, and looking forward to getting this. Don't know much about it other than the fact that it's got beautiful art and interesting concept of tiles and Western theme. Queen by Midnight, again, hot seller. This is one that Rob managed to get for me on the last day. It was, he had to get to the line early, quick, but he managed to score it for me. And it's a kind of a deck builder again, where you're trying to get your princess or the princess to win the hand of the prince to become queen by midnight. So it's kind of a Cinderella-esque theme. Now, apart from those, we got the Mission Control Critical Orbit, second kind of the expansion. The original I got at Origins. I haven't had a chance to get a review up yet, but we already have played it and enjoyed it. And this is the expansion for it. And they had a deal where they gave you these, well, you didn't get again, but it was a kind of a package deal where you got these bags with them, where it had the promos and the card or the game and everything put together. But it looks like kind of an oxygen bag or something. Lots of t-shirts. See, we got Renature Valley. That's the expansion for Renature, which I think reviewed back around last Christmas, I believe. It was kind of a domino style game. Rolling Realms, they released a whole bunch of expansions for that. That's based upon a bunch of different board games, so it's kind of cool. They're branching out beyond their board games collection. They're going to other people's board games. They got partnerships with them. Marrakesh, we got the upgrade bits for our Marrakesh because we love that game so much. So I got the coins and all the wooden bits to replace all the cardboard in it. So Werewolf the Apocalypse, this was a new release of the old Werewolf the Apocalypse that they did at Gen Con. Renegade Games did it. And so I ordered her the host set for her birthday, which is coming up soon. Mine's right before hers. And other than that, we just got a bunch of promos. Shake the City. They already had a mini expansion for it, so we picked that up. Is there anything else? Oh, the second expansion for the Wandering Towers. They had a little mini expansion for that. Oh, and then Next Station London got a sequel, Next Station Tokyo. I didn't have either one, so I picked them both up. My sister really liked those, so I picked up both of them. And then I think we had the Keyforge that was in our VIG swag bag. We got a little pack of some kind of deck of stories about the jungle I got. Oh, I got the expansions for the Artisans. They had like a pack 2 and 3. I went ahead and got those there too. That's pretty much it. Just a bunch of other stuff. It was just a bunch of swag from the VIG swag bag. But lots and lots of goodies coming. Got it. And then Barcelona is supposed to release this week. Rob's already got it from Gen Con. I have it on order from our local shop, and I think it's supposed to probably be here this weekend. I think it arrived today, but they didn't have it for me when I went down to pick it up yet. So that will be also part of this, because I pre-ordered that at the same time I pre-ordered Great Western Trail. So lots of good things coming to the channel. Tell us what you're most excited to see. We'll try to prioritize it sometime after Lunar Rush, because that'll be the next one once Miranda's feeling well. In between, we got a few videos in the can that I need to edit, and we'll be getting those up, and of course this video. So I hope you enjoyed, and let us know what swag you got. What was your haul at Gen Con?